Hello and welcome to Speak and Listen English. I'm Emma, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today.
And I'm Jack. It's wonderful to connect with all our listeners who are on their English learning journey.
Absolutely, Jack. Today, we're diving into a topic that many learners struggle with silently, something we call breaking the perfection trap.
The perfection trap. That sounds familiar. I think I've been stuck in that trap more times than I can count.
Most of us have. You know that feeling when you're in a conversation, your brain freezes because you're searching for the absolutely perfect word or grammar structure, and by the time you find it, the moment has passed?
Oh, yes. I remember standing in a cafe in London once, trying to order a simple coffee. I spent so long mentally rehearsing, could I possibly have a medium latte with oat milk, that the barista had already moved on to the next customer. I just stood there, holding my wallet, completely frozen.
That's the perfection trap in action. And today we're going to talk about how to gently step out of it, not by lowering your standards, but by shifting your focus from perfect output to meaningful connection.
I love that distinction. So it's not about accepting mistakes carelessly, but about prioritizing communication first.
Exactly. Think of language like dancing. When you're learning a new dance, you don't master every single step perfectly before stepping onto the dance floor. You feel the rhythm, you move with the music, and you adjust as you go. Sometimes you step on your partner's toes, but you keep dancing.
That's such a beautiful analogy. But Emma, I have to ask, why is our brain so obsessed with being perfect? Why do we feel like a small grammar mistake is a huge disaster?
That's a deep question, Jack. It actually comes down to our biology. Our brains are wired for survival. Historically, being different or making a mistake in front of a group could lead to social exclusion. In the modern world, your brain treats a misplaced verb tense the same way it would treat a predator in the bushes.
So my brain thinks a present perfect error is a saber-toothed tiger?
Precisely. Your amygdala, the part of the brain that handles fear, kicks in. It shuts down the prefrontal cortex, which is the part responsible for language and logic. That's why you freeze. You aren't losing your English. Your brain is just trying to protect you from the danger of looking silly.
That explains so much. It's not that I've forgotten my vocabulary, it's that my security system has locked the doors to the vocabulary room. How do we unlock it?
By normalizing imperfection. Did you know that native English speakers make grammatical errors all the time in casual conversation? We say things like, me and my friend went shopping, instead of my friend and I. Or we use double negatives like, I don't need no help. Language is alive. It breathes and changes in real-time conversation.
That's so reassuring to hear. Many learners think native speakers always speak like textbook examples, but in reality, we're messy, creative, and sometimes grammatically incorrect too.
Absolutely. So, step 1, give yourself permission to be human. Your goal isn't to sound like a grammar book, it's to share your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Even with imperfect grammar, you can build beautiful connections.
What's step 2? Because I think many listeners might still feel nervous about actually opening their mouths.
Great question. Step 2 is what I call micro conversations. Start incredibly small. Order your coffee in English, even if it's just coffee, please. Ask a shop assistant, where are the notebooks? Make one comment to a colleague, nice weather today. These tiny interactions build muscle memory for speaking without overwhelming pressure.
I love that approach. It's like weightlifting. You start with light weights to build strength before attempting heavy lifts. And speaking of building strength, what about vocabulary gaps? That's another big anxiety point for learners.
When you hit a vocabulary wall, become a word painter. Instead of freezing because you don't know frustrated, describe the feeling. I feel not happy because something is difficult and I cannot do it easily. Most people will understand you perfectly and might even offer the word you're searching for. Oh, you mean frustrated?
Word painter. I'm stealing that phrase.
It reframes the struggle as creativity rather than failure. Instead of, I don't know this word, it becomes, how can I paint this idea with the colors I already have?
Exactly. And let's talk about the 80-20 rule in language. 80% of communication is actually body language, tone of voice, and context. Only 20% is the actual words you use. If you smile, use your hands, and say, water, please, you have successfully communicated. You don't need a 10-word sentence to survive.
It's funny you say that. I've seen tourists get exactly what they need using only 3 words and a lot of pointing, while some advanced learners are still standing at the door trying to remember the subjunctive mood.
Exactly. Perfection is the enemy of progress. If you wait until you are 100% sure of a sentence, you will speak 0% of the time. But if you are okay with being 70% correct, you can speak 100% of the time.
That's a powerful shift in mindset. It's better to be 70% correct and have a conversation than to be 100% correct and stay silent in your room.
Precisely. Now let's talk about a game-changer technique, the 3-second rule. When you have something to say, give yourself just 3 seconds to start speaking. Don't wait to craft the perfect sentence. In those 3 seconds, just launch with your main idea. I think, or yesterday, or my opinion is.
3 seconds? That feels terrifying at first, but I can see how it would prevent overthinking. What if you make a mistake right after those 3 seconds?
Then you've done something amazing. You've communicated. And here's the secret most learners don't realize. Native English speakers rarely notice small grammar errors when they're engaged in conversation. They're focused on your message, not your verb tenses. If they do notice, they usually just understand what you meant and move on.
That's such a relief to hear. I think many learners imagine native speakers mentally correcting every mistake they make, when in reality, we're just happy someone is making the effort to speak our language.
Let's check our listener mailbag. We got a message from Maria in Brazil. She says, Emma and Jack, I feel confident when I'm alone, but as soon as I see a native speaker, I feel like a child. I'm an expert in my job, but in English, I feel unintelligent. How do I stop feeling like a child?
Wow, that hits home. That identity crisis is real. You are a smart, capable adult in your own language, but suddenly you're struggling with basic sentences in another language.
Maria, thank you for being so honest. First, acknowledge that learning a language is a feat of intelligence, not a lack of it. Being bilingual, even imperfectly, means your brain is more flexible than a monolingual brain. When you feel like a child, remember, a child is a learning machine. Children aren't embarrassed to fall down. They fall, they laugh, and they get back up.
And Maria, try this. Focus on your expertise. If you are an engineer, talk about engineering. Use the technical words you know. Your passion for your subject will often override your fear of the language. When we talk about things we love, we forget to be perfect.
That's a great tip. And speaking of effort, let's address the inner critic, that voice in your head that says your accent is too strong, or they'll think you're unintelligent. What if we renamed that voice? Instead of my critic, call it my overprotective friend who's trying to keep me safe from embarrassment.
I love that reframe. It transforms self-judgment into something almost endearing. Thanks for trying to protect me, overprotective friend, but I've got this.
Yes, and then gently thank that voice and speak anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's speaking even when your hands are shaking slightly.
Beautifully said. Now, what about practice between conversations? Many learners study alone and wonder how to build speaking confidence without a partner.
2 powerful solo practices. First, shadowing. Play a short clip from an English podcast or show you enjoy. Pause after each sentence and repeat it out loud, matching the rhythm, emotion, and flow. Don't worry about meaning at first, just focus on the music of the language.
Shadowing helps with pronunciation in natural rhythm. What's the second practice?
Daily narration. While making breakfast, commuting, or walking your dog, describe what you're doing out loud in simple English. I'm pouring milk into my coffee. The sun is bright today. I see a red car passing by. This builds automaticity, training your brain to form English sentences without translation.
I've done this while cooking. At first it felt silly saying, "Now I am chopping onions" to an empty kitchen, but after 2 weeks, English started flowing more naturally in real conversations too.
It really works. And here is an extra tip for the brave, the character technique. Sometimes, if you're too shy to be yourself in English, pretend you're playing a character. Imagine you're a confident English-speaking news reporter or a character from a movie.
That's brilliant. It's like a mask. If the character makes a mistake, it's not your fault, it's the character's. It gives you that extra layer of psychological safety.
Exactly. Now let's talk about listening, because speaking and listening are dance partners. When you focus less on... Hello everyone, and welcome back to Speak and Listen English. I'm Emma, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jack.
Hi, Emma, and a massive welcome to all our fantastic listeners tuning in today. We are so thrilled to have you here with us again.
It's great to have everyone back. Now, before we get into today's main topic, we have a small favor to ask our wonderful community.
That's right. If you're finding value in our episodes and they are helping you grow in your English journey, please take a second to share this podcast with your friends who are also on the path to learning English.
And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our channel so you never miss our future episodes, which are always filled with advice to boost your skills.
Oh, and don't forget to hit that like button. It truly helps us reach more learners just like you.
All right, Emma, are you ready to reveal the exciting topic we've prepared for everyone today?
Absolutely, Jack. Today we're diving into a subject that every learner thinks about: how to speak English fluently and confidently.
That is a brilliant topic. Reaching your goals and building confidence are the ultimate priorities for anyone mastering a new language, especially English.
Exactly. We know many learners can follow a conversation or read a book easily, but when it's time to actually speak, they feel a bit blocked or nervous.
I'm sure that's something our audience can really relate to. So, where do we begin? What is the very first step toward mastering English with confidence?
Well, the very first thing I'd say is don't be afraid to make mistakes. It sounds simple, but it's vital. Many people are hesitant to speak because they worry about sounding silly.
That's so true. It's like a fear of imperfection that keeps people stuck. But the truth is, making mistakes is a natural and essential part of learning.
Precisely. Think about babies learning to talk. They make all sorts of funny sounds, but that's how they eventually learn to speak fluently. Every error is a learning opportunity.
Exactly. And keep in mind, most native speakers are actually very patient and supportive. They respect the effort you're making to communicate.
That's a great point. So step number 1, embrace mistakes as part of the process. What's next on our list?
Step number 2 is all about practice, practice, practice. You've heard the saying, practice makes perfect, and it's 100% true for English.
Absolutely. You can study grammar rules all day, but if you don't actually open your mouth and speak, you won't improve your fluency.
Exactly. Think of it like riding a bicycle. You can read books about it, but you won't learn until you get on the bike and start pedaling, even if you wobble at first.
So, how can our listeners incorporate more speaking practice into their daily routines?
One simple thing is to talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing or plan your day out loud. It might feel strange, but it's a great way to practice without pressure.
That's a clever idea. It's like having a conversation partner who is always available and never judges you.
Exactly. Another way is to find a language exchange partner. There are many apps where you can connect with native speakers and help each other improve.
That's a fantastic way to get real-life practice and learn about different cultures. And don't forget the power of speaking out loud when you're studying.
Yes, read texts aloud or repeat phrases you hear in podcasts. Try to mimic the pronunciation. It gets your mouth used to forming English sounds.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. So we have mistakes and practice. What is our third tip?
Tip number 3 is to expand your vocabulary. The more words and phrases you know, the easier it will be to express yourself fluently.
That makes sense. If you're constantly searching for the right word, it can really interrupt the flow of your speech.
Absolutely. So make a conscious effort to learn new words every day. Keep a notebook, use flashcards, or try language learning apps.
And it's not just about memorizing words, right? It's also important to learn how to use them correctly in sentences.
Exactly. Pay attention to how native speakers use words in context. This helps you understand the nuances of meaning and how to use words naturally.
Another great way is to learn synonyms. This gives you more options for expressing the same idea.
That's a fantastic tip. Instead of just learning one word, try to learn a few ways to say the same thing. This makes your English sound more natural.
So our first 3 are don't fear mistakes, practice regularly, and grow your vocabulary. What's next?
Tip number 4 is to learn and study phrases, not just individual words. Fluency is about speaking in whole sentences without hesitation.
That's a really important point. Sometimes learners focus too much on individual words and struggle to put them together naturally.
Exactly. Native speakers often use set phrases. Learning these chunks of language can really boost your fluency.
Can you give us some examples of common phrases our listeners should focus on?
Sure, everyday things like "how's it going?" "nice to meet you," or "excuse me." These are used all the time. And it's not just greetings, right? There are phrases for expressing opinions, agreeing, or asking for clarification.
Absolutely. Phrases like, in my opinion, I agree with you, or could you please repeat that, help you participate more actively in conversations.
So instead of just learning the word opinion, you should learn the phrase, in my opinion. It helps you speak in complete thoughts.
Exactly. Now, tip number 5 is to think in English. This is a bit more challenging, but it's a crucial step towards fluency.
Translating from your native language can really slow you down and make you sound less natural.
Precisely. The goal is to bypass translation. You can start small. When you see an object, think of its English name immediately.
So if I see a dog, I should think dog instead of the word in my native language.
Exactly. You can also narrate your day in your head. What are you doing? What are you planning? It becomes more automatic with practice.
It sounds like it requires effort at first, but it helps you react more quickly in conversations. What's tip number 6?
Tip number 6 is to immerse yourself in English. This means surrounding yourself with the language as much as possible.
That makes sense. Change your phone settings to English, watch movies with subtitles, and listen to English music.
And it's not just passive listening. Pay attention to the vocabulary and how the language is used. Reading books or blogs at your level also helps.
The key is to make English a part of your daily life, not just something you study for a few hours.
Exactly. Now, tip number 7 is to talk to yourself out loud. It's a really effective way to practice without pressure.
You can do it anywhere, in the shower or while cooking. Describe what you're seeing or role-play future conversations.
Precisely. If you know you're going to a restaurant, practice ordering in English beforehand. It prepares you for real-life interactions.
And don't be afraid to have imaginary conversations with your favorite actors. It gets your mouth moving.
Absolutely. Now, tip number 8. Focus on fluency over perfection. This is so important for beginners.
Many learners are so afraid of grammar mistakes that they become afraid to speak at all.
But the goal is to convey your message. It's okay to make errors as long as you are understood. Fluency is about the smooth flow of speech.
It's better to speak and make errors than not to speak at all. You can focus on accuracy as you improve.
Exactly. Think of it like building a house. You need the foundation, fluency, before you focus on the decorations, accuracy.
That's very encouraging. What is tip number 9?
Tip number 9 is to work on your pronunciation. Clear pronunciation significantly boosts your confidence.
If you're worried people won't understand you, it makes you hesitant. You don't need a perfect accent, but you do need to be clear.
You can mimic native speakers or use online guides. Recording yourself and comparing it to a native speaker is also a great way to identify areas for improvement.
And pay attention to stress and intonation. The rhythm and melody of the language are just as important as the sounds themselves.
Precisely. Finally, tip number 10 is to simply start speaking as much as possible. It brings everything together.
All the tips we've discussed lead to this one action. The more you speak, the more comfortable you'll become. It's a virtuous cycle.
Don't wait until you feel ready. Find opportunities every day, online, in forums, or even ordering coffee. Every time you speak, you build confidence.
Remember, everyone starts somewhere. Be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress along the way.
Absolutely. Learning a language is a journey. Every word you speak brings you closer to your goal.
To recap, don't fear mistakes, practice regularly, expand vocabulary, learn phrases, think in English, immerse yourself, talk out loud, focus on fluency, work on pronunciation, and just start.
We hope these tips are helpful. Remember, it takes time and effort, but with a positive attitude, you can achieve your goals.
We're here to support you. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to Speak and Listen English and share it with others.
We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below telling us which tip you found most helpful. Thanks for tuning in.
Keep practicing and stay confident. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye for now. See you later.